Welcome into the second carrier update of the morning, presented by Powerfleet. Donnie, looking at the overall indexes here, we're seeing this downward kind of slope.
I'm going to correct myself first. It was the Ukraine war. It's off just a little bit, about 55 years. Yeah, I got brought up here. That's what pushed the fuel prices up. Outbound tender volume index. Today is Monday. This is dry van, reefer, everything put together. 12,459. So still actually very healthy. We want to see above 10,000. Now, what's hurting us is we are, as you can see here over the last few months, on a decline. So it's going down slightly. Rejection rates have dropped down to 6.98. A lot lower than what we expected, but considering the situation that's going on with spot rates being well below contracted rates, you'll probably see these go a lot lower. We're having a lot newer contracts start to come into play right now. And of course, you don't want to sign a new deal on a contract and start bailing out of it immediately and start rejecting them. Yep. So you'll see those carriers roll in those, figure out which ones lanes they want before they start really rejecting a lot of these lanes. Now, with the current situation going on with the big spread in fuel, you're probably going to see a lot of these large carriers wanting to stay in on their contracts because of that spread and avoid the spot market. But you're still going to have loads hit the spot market, and it's for the direct opposite reasons. The shippers are going to look at some of what's going on and say, hey, look, we might be able to save 30, 40, 50, 70 cents a mile by going to the spot market, and they may start pulling that freight. So if you're a carrier right now, and let's say you're given 5 loads a week for Chattanooga to St. Louis, and they offer you a 6th or a 7th, I'd be accepting them. Just for the biggest reason is you don't want your shippers to take your lanes to the spot market because they might see where they can save $200 or $300 per lane, and then you might see the reverse happen where you're all of a sudden not getting those loads. If you're accepting all of them, hopefully maybe they won't see that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that kind of works its way in both directions, right? On the way up, things follow the spot market because carriers are after higher rates. On the downside, it's shippers want the lower rates. Spot market's beneficial for them.
It's a double-edged sword, and it goes both ways. And you see these owner-operators that are upset with brokers. Well, it goes both ways. Yes, they push rates down, but in times like last year, it was these owner-operators that were pushing these rates that were extremely high. Yep. It's called the free market for a reason. Let's pop it here to the next chart here. We're going to kind of take a look at reefer here right quick. Again, we got reefer rejection rates in yellow here down to 7.68%. They're trending down still, just very slowly, but they're in a downward trend. And keep that in mind when we go to the next chart here. But volumes are up here at 1380, still higher than before the previous 2 holidays, higher than what volumes were before Memorial Day, higher than what volumes were before the 4th of July, and they're still kind of holding steady around that area. But rejection rates are going down. Now, on the next chart here, let's look at outbound tender lead times compared to our rejection rates. You see this upward trend here in tender lead times. This is kind of a little bit of a showing that right now some reefer shippers might be under pressure. When they get under a little bit of pressure, they start extending their tender lead times. But rejection rates are going down, meaning the pricing is probably on the spot market heading the wrong direction, in a downward direction. Well, this is where right now is probably a good time for reefer carriers to start pushing their rates back up. Shippers are under pressure. They may not realize it. And when we come to our next chart at the top of the hour, I'll show you why they should be pushing their rates up.
Awesome. Well, thank you for this update, Donnie. We'll be sure to check in with you again a little later. Right now, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Freight Waves Now.